Warning, this podcast contains burgers.
Talking Satan.
Yes, yes, talking Satan. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTVpodcast for iZombie, Season 1, Episode 11, Astroburger. I'm your host, Dom. With me, my co-host, Kim, a.k.a. Biera,
Hi.
a.k.a. B, a.k.a. Huffity Puffity, a.k.a. Pain in my ass. Oh, that was rude. Sorry, must be the brains I've been eating.
Okay, yes.
I ate Nicole's brains, Nikki's brains, before the podcast. That's why she's not here. So, the rudeness is coming out. I just get things thrown at me by some rude person over there. If you can't tell by the change of background, I am not home. I'm actually at Nikki's house, and she's under the weather, so she will not be joining us tonight.
I have light.
And you have light, and I just got this thrown at me by some rude person. So, there's the giggling. So, what did you think of this episode?
A lot was going on. I mean, we get a lot of big, huge moments. We get a talking devil on a bag of chips.
Yep.
And a scene where... so I was slightly confused. I don't know what I've missed or what happened. But there was a scene where she tells him, and I'm like, oh my god, she told him. Oh my god. And then that didn't really happen. So I'm guessing so she hallucinated it.
Correct. So this is I watched this episode again today with Nikki, and rewatching it, because I don't typically rewatch episodes. I don't like to do that. I like one time through. But because of this and knowing what was going on with Major and the whole hallucination thing, so now I watched it with the intention of trying to figure out where the hallucination Major came into play. And it was Major the whole time up to the date, right? And then when he left and came back, so when he knocked on the door to come back, that was the hallucination. So he never slept in her bed. He never said he was looking for a job. Yeah, so
the cute part never happened.
Yeah, basically all the cute stuff never happened.
That sucked.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't pick up on that. I got confused.
So basically, the reveal to that is the weatherman that she was following around.
Yeah.
Was all that, and then when she realized that she hallucinated him the entire time, that he wasn't actually real, then that was shortly after that is when the Major reveal. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I missed that.
They never just came outright and said, "Oh, look, he's a hallucination." But it was, "Oh, this guy is not real," and then Major comes to the door, and it was just kind of like, he didn't know what was going on. He's like, Liv comes in and goes, "Oh, how was your job hunt?" And he goes, "Job hunt? You must be confusing me with someone else." Like, that right off the bat was the first tip. And then when, he said, "Oh, the zombies are real. I have proof. Don't freak out, but they're real. I have proof." And that's when it hit us as the viewers and Liv at the same time that it was not actually Major that she told. It was her hallucination.
Yeah, I did figure. I mean, obviously that's what I figured out at that point, that didn't really happen. But I guess I was just a little thrown off of when it started. When he first started was the hallucination.
Right. Yeah. So it was a bit crazy. As I was telling Nikki before we started watching, I said this is my favorite episode of the season so far. I really like the twist.
It had a lot of it really had a lot going on. Again, I mean, we are featuring her again with it's a different version of PSD. It was Scotty's, post zombie seeing all that crap.
Scott E, not Scotty. Scotty didn't know.
And we get his other little crazy hallucinations of the devil talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't, you just think it's okay, so he thinks he's talking to the devil, and then you realize he's talking to a bag of chips.
Mhm.
A very dirty bag of chips.
Yes.
That's considering at one point. And so that comes back to so the roommate and Avi are getting a lot closer than fairly quickly.
Yeah, I mean, they were supposedly knocking boots. They were canoodling. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't. Obviously, they implied, and then again with the. Of course, I have to pick up on the horribleness of the chip bag stroking the pitchfork.
Yeah.
Saying that he likes it rough.
Yeah, well, of course. There were a lot of sexual innuendos
yeah.
in this episode. There was something that Major said that alluded to a prostitute, like a call girl's name or something.
Yes, because she tried to make some chess joke or whatever, and then he said that it sounded like something a prostitute would make you pay extra for.
Yes. So there was a lot of that. Blaine was exceptionally creepy this episode.
Creepy. He was trying to figure out what's going on with kind of spying on Liv. She didn't poison him. Like, I was like, okay, she's gonna poison him. What's gonna happen? But then the whole she had to drink it too, and I went, oh god. And then I realized, obviously right away she didn't do it.
I'm trying Nikki's glasses on, and they make everything look so weird. Because, like, everything's yellow now, and then it comes off, and everything's like, oh my god, it's blue? And it's like, it's really messing with me. So.
Right.
It's zombie vision.
Okay. But, so yeah, we really get a lot of Blaine in this episode that we haven't had in a while. And you get him getting pissed off and then shove a knife into the side of another zombie's head. Because he gets mad, which, he didn't right out kill him.
Mm-hmm.
It was, surprising. Well, you lost my shit. So he does actually, he does take out the astronaut.
Yeah. Which is the title of the episode, Astroburger. So we sat there for a minute after the episode. We're like, why was it named Astroburger? Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's so he just never showed up to a book signing.
Yeah.
It's like, how does a public figure like this go missing? Like, did she not realize that Blaine's up to something?
It makes you wonder how long it's going to take for her to put, that situation before she knows that, and then it's going to implement that other dude. So when is this other guy going to become a bigger part, or is he just whatever? Or is this the big boss? Is this another big no? And they brought the thought process into Avi finding, dealing with more of the Max Rager, and it looks like possibly the cure.
Yeah, Ravi potentially has cracked the code for the cure. Just in time, 2 episodes away from the finale, season finale anyway, not series, but season finale, as the cure. So.
Well, obviously you still gotta do some more tests to figure out. So what's gonna happen? Is this a permanent thing? Is this rat gonna stay this way, or will it backfire? Or will it say it not work because you think that it's get excited and think it's gonna work and then it doesn't?
Right. It could just end up working for for animal trials. It may not carry over to work with humans, or like you said, it could be a temporary side effect. It could be back to normal for now, but a week later, or even a couple days later, Yeah.
So yeah, definitely looking into seeing where that goes. What Blaine does now. Major's gotten himself into a lot of shit. They already kind of know that Major was around. So are they going to immediately think that it was Major? It's going to take a little while. Obviously Blaine is not going to let this go. And he's going to come back with a vengeance. So it's like, what direction he's going to go to? Are we going to think that, is he going to implement Liv in this situation, being that, he was already kind of wondering what's going on, being with, he found out about Lowell.
Right. And I'm curious now if the Max Rager had anything to do with the virus, whatever. Like, has he been slipping that to the rats? So we have all that. But then, like, when we're bringing up Clive, or not Clive, Blaine, he seems to, like, he said, I have a plan for the girl, the zombie girl. He said that a couple episodes ago. So I'm curious what her plan is, like how she ties into his overall scheme. And it seems like I don't think he just said that out of the blue. I think he legit does have a plan for her.
I do too. I mean, he's been very cool and calculated this whole time. He's obviously got a direction he's going for, and he's obviously been using people within certain, departments and different areas.
Because he's covering his bases well too. He's like, oh, zombie video, like even Nikki was like, why did she just tell him about that? Like, I don't know why she revealed all that information to him after she's already skeptical of him. I couldn't explain.
I did wonder why she did that as well. I'm like, why would you give information to someone that you know is the enemy? At this point, he's doing bad things.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a good guy. I mean, so why would you reveal things unless maybe she thought that he would take precautions to try to get rid of it too?
Yeah, I mean, that could have been it. She may have actually been looking to see if he ended up with the video, because if he's like, oh yeah, I found the video and destroyed it, then it's something she doesn't have to worry about necessarily. But if he seemed clueless on it, she's got to take matters into her own hands. So, yeah.
She was just trying to fill the water, knowing that he'd been around him. And it makes me wonder, we know that he was a small drug dealer, and we know that he was friends with Blaine, or, well, acquaintances at least. And he was at the party. So we wonder how much he knew about, the drug itself. Was he giving the drug out as well?
Yeah, I don't know.
And this is something I've been contemplating. Is there utopium in Max Rager?
I think there might be utopium in Max Rager. Trace amounts of it, but
it's definitely something that I've been contemplating. Being that
either that, or it's the catalyst. So the utopium by itself is harmless, and the Max Rager by itself is harmless. But you mix the two, that could, because that's very similar to Batman. The original Batman movie, where the Joker created all these cosmetic products, and by themselves they were fine. They were FDA approved, and they went out and all this stuff. But there's chemicals, when they were combined, caused these ridiculous side effects. So it could be something like that.
It definitely. I mean, it's interesting the different ways to think of what's going on, because we obviously know Max Rager's up to somewhere in all of this. They've had their hands in some of the other episodes. We know they had their hands in the boat situation. And, I mean, we did see the owner of Max Rager, or we knew a big boss at Max Rager. But I'm starting to think that he isn't the guy that we're looking for, that was above Blaine. I think we're looking for someone different. Yeah,
and I mean, just knowing how the actor David Anders is that plays... or that Blaine is, he portrays Blaine. He's probably not going to stick around on this show forever, because he likes to jump shows. He's got like his foot in every single show that I've ever watched. So I feel like he's the setup for something bigger. And I don't necessarily think he's going to be dispatched in the finale here. I think we're probably going to end up with another season of him. But I think there's somebody bigger than Blaine.
I agree, and I do agree that I don't think we're going to see Blaine go out at the end of this season. But I believe that he will be what introduces us to the bigger boss. Yeah,
because we know the finale title is called Blaine's World. Mm-hmm. So, a little play on Wayne's World there, but it's also... seems like everything's going to be run by him now. It's going to be, the finale should be extremely different from everything. So, I'm just curious, going into season 2, do you think they're gonna keep up with the cop format, like a case to solve, case of the week, tie it with like, or do you think the show's gonna move in a different direction? Because other shows, like Supernatural, for example, started out case of the week. You know, oh, monster of the week, da 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 da. They did this, but then they started developing this overarching story, and they focused less on it. While it still remained there, you'd go maybe 3 or 4 episodes at a time without it. So, do you think that's something we could see in the second season?
I do. I mean, we've seen some of it already right now with some of the episodes not wholly focused on the actual case. I mean, we had a case, but it wasn't really focused on it.
Mm-hmm.
They moved away from a little bit of that, and I could see that continuing as we go on. But I do see probably a few episodes here and there, you know, kind of not fluff episodes, but episodes where you're going to get just more focused on what's going on.
Right, and I'd like to see some of the brains carry over. Some of them are just too good to dispatch in one episode. Like we saw the sniper one, the residual effect carry over into the beginning of the next episode, but I want to see it maybe span like 2 or 3 episodes. Something, you know, like one of the really good ones, like this one, this whole thing.
Oh yeah.
I feel like they could have played this one. Yeah, I feel like they could have played this one out and done this over a few episodes where you didn't know she was hallucinating, or they could still do that and next week have some hallucinations that she doesn't realize are hallucinations. So
I definitely think it'd be an interesting path of interesting. You do a lot of twists, a lot of random things. You start to, like, you know, Inception.
Yeah.
You know, kind of things where like you want to contemplate. You know, is this happening? Is this not happening? So you're going the whole episode going, oh God, what's real?
Yeah.
And I think that they really could take it in a whole different level, especially with, you know, sometimes, you know, with mental illness, they take on other things. You know, you start with like schizophrenia, and you start with the hallucinations, which she's dealing with right now, and it starts to develop into other things, and they can take it to all different, you know, mental breakdowns and craziness.
Yep. I don't know. I'm looking more and more forward to the show as the weeks go on.
Mm-hmm.
This episode, I don't know. Like before this episode, I was like, oh, it's like I'm still enjoying it, but I was like, the whole case of the week format is getting a little stale to me.
Yeah.
But this particular episode just kind of like reinvigorated me. I was just like, oh, this is a really, really good episode. When a show can take me by surprise, that's when I give it a lot of respect, because there's a lot of shows out there that it's just like I could call things coming a mile away. Like a show we didn't end up covering at all, Secrets and Lies. I'm not going to ruin it by any means, but based on the first episode, I made my assumption who the killer was and was 100% right 13 episodes later, or whatever it was for the finale. And I was like, though it was still an enjoyable series going through, it's like when you could predict something that early on, it's like it kind of loses something for it. So when a show like this catches me by surprise, I really, really like it.
Yeah, definitely. I've done the calling stuff in some shows, but I guess I don't. Sometimes I just let it go and see what happens.
Yeah.
But I definitely do. I am liking the show more and more as we go on. I do like that Blaine's character has come back a little bit more, especially in this episode, because I like Blaine's character.
Yep.
I like Major. I like to see Major's character developed, because I do like Major.
Clive is starting to grow on me too. I didn't really care for him, and this episode, while Liv was talking to herself, like having these moments, he just had some of the best facial expressions I've ever seen. He just looked at her like she was insane.
Because she was.
Exactly. So, I love the dynamic of that. I don't know, so Detective Babineau, whatever, he's taking a medical examiner on cases with him. Like, I don't understand the logic. Like, logistically in the real world, that would not happen.
No.
And it's probably only because of her psychic abilities that he's taking her along. But I don't think legally he's allowed to do that anyway. So, I don't know.
I don't know how to...
Because it's not just bringing her to cases. Like, she's in the interrogation room with him. It's like some stuff just, I don't know.
I mean, they do, being that hiring psychics to investigate and do things.
Right.
And I don't know how the extent
The thing with that is he's the only one that thinks she's a psychic. They haven't like told anybody at the police precinct that she thinks she's a psychic or whatever. So they're not going for like a psych kind of theme with that. Like where Psych was like, "Oh, Sean Spencer is a psychic," and he's trying to fool the entire police force. Liv just told Clive, and he's the only one that knows this.
I thought in like the first few episodes they did know and they were making fun of it.
The first episode's been so long now. I don't remember.
But I think it's like the first episode they're making fun of him.
Maybe.
Wrong. But I'm remembering that. I'd have to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. You have anything else for this episode?
Well, I mean, other than I'm interested again in how long is it going to take Major to realize? As he's now knowing zombies are real, and now he's picking up on things like that. How long is it going to be before he realizes she is a zombie too?
Yeah.
Or is she just going to tell him?
Well, Major was like, I'm going to kill all the zombies.
Yeah.
So I don't think she's definitely capable of telling him. We already saw this when she thought he was real. But now that she didn't actually, and now coming forth with this information now that he's on a wild manhunt to kill every zombie alive, she's going to have some reservations about telling him.
This is true. But I wonder, is she going to help him? Is she going to be involved? I mean, that's could be where the next few episodes go. She could be involved trying to help Major of some sort, you know.
Yeah. She could. I don't know. Next episode is called Dead Rat, Live Rat, Brown Rat, White Rat. Sounds like a Dr. Seuss book.
Sounds like what I said about the cure going back and forth.
Right? High School Redux. A group of drunken teenagers take a late-night joyride with disastrous consequences. As they cover up the accident, the man mysteriously comes back to life and attacks one of the girls. So he must have been a zombie. After Liv consumes the girl's brain, she is taken back to high school as she and Clive investigate the case. A surprise death of one of the victim's friends raises some serious questions about the case, and Major believes Blaine's Deli is not all it seems to be.
Oh! Where the hell did that guy go that she beat up with the boat?
Yeah, we haven't seen that guy yet. He was chopped up, last week?
And he came back as a zombie at the end.
Yep. So, I mean, there's this episode, and there's next episode. It seems to me it's not something that they're saving for season 2. I could be completely wrong, but I think we'll see him creep up again this season.
I do too.
So.
I don't, like, he didn't seem like a major character. Obviously, him coming back to zombie made him kind of somewhat major.
Right.
Thing.
A major thing, not major as in major, but...
He's definitely going to be seen again. It's just when and where and how.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, I think that about wraps things up. Kim, where can the people find you?
At Huffy HUFFITY Yay, Twitter.
You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM. You can find both of us and others on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTVpodcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Till next week.
Bye.
See you guys later. I still don't believe there's only 2 episodes left.
I know, shit.
I don't believe Nikki didn't throw more at me during that podcast.